To do. Which to-do list is right for you? Hello everyone, Scott Friesen here at Simpletivity. And you know, I have seen an awful lot of to-do lists in my life, and I've tested out an awful lot of task manager apps. But in today's video, I want to share with you what I'm calling the ultimate to-do list and why I think you should consider managing not just your to-dos, but other areas of your work right here within Trello. And be sure to stay tuned to today's video because I want to show you where you can get a copy of this board if you like, and also find some further Trello inspiration. So let's get things kicked off with the very first list in my ultimate to-do list. And you'll notice it has nothing to do with tasks at all. No, in fact, it's a notes and new ideas section. One of the things that I find where a lot of us go wrong is that we mash up all of our notes, all of our brainstorming ideas, all of those maybes or could be's with our actual tasks. And you know, there's a difference between a to-do, something that you've committed to doing, versus something that you're still maybe just thinking about, or maybe it's just reference notes. So this very first list is a place where you can put meeting notes. It's things where you have that idea in the middle of the day. You can just open up a Trello card and quickly put it into your project management list or your ultimate to-do list. I've also put it as the very first list in this process, not only because many of our to-dos or projects start as just a brainstorming idea, but if you use the Trello mobile app, it makes it that much easier for you to input these notes. Now, you'll also notice here in the ultimate to-do list, I've created a card at the top of each of my lists describing the purpose of that list. So let's move on to list number 2. And yet again, we're still not at the task level. No, the second list is all about projects. Here's another area which I find we have room for improvement. A lot of us manage our tasks or our to-dos in a single application or in a single screen, but yet we sometimes manage our projects somewhere else, maybe even in a completely different application. Well, it's important if you want to achieve those number one goals or those most important projects that you have a relationship between them on this same screen, and that you can see if your daily tasks align with your most important projects. So here's a place to list, and you can open them up and add even further details or descriptions or due dates for those projects. But the main purpose is that you can see the relationship between those projects and other tasks on your list. Now, as you can see here, I've made a few different relationships with other tasks on my to-do list. Now, there's two ways that I recommend going about doing this. One of them would be by using labels. So here you see I have this redesign website project, and I've applied the green label, but I also have other tasks which relate directly to that project. They also have that green label. So it's very easy for me to see which of my tasks align with that project. Here's another example where I have a purple label, and it is related to this task over here. Now, by using the filter option within Trello, it can be very, very easy to quickly filter and see how many of your tasks and at what stage of the process are they in your workflow and how they relate to that particular project. And one of the reasons why I love using filtering is that if I filter on a particular project and I don't have any tasks assigned or very few, I may need to rethink my workday, because if I want to get these most important projects done, I better have my task list assigned or in line with those projects. Let me take that filter off and let me show you one other way in which you can make this relationship. If I open up this card, you can also see that I have created Trello relationships with those tasks as well. So if I want to dive deeper and go to this price quote from Really Cool Designs, I can just click directly on that card and it brings me to the individual task. So either labels or making actual connections with those cards can be a great way to align your tasks with your projects. And of course, these project cards might have a relationship to completely different Trello boards. Maybe they are related to Trello boards where you collaborate and work with other people, but you would prefer to work on your own task list here. Now, the next two lists are related. We have our individual tasks. These are the things that we want to accomplish today. And then we have our future tasks, making a distinction between the things that we need to knock out or really want to accomplish today, and then things that we're going to get to maybe when this list is completely done, or maybe things that we're going to be thinking about later on in the week. Lastly, let's move on to our final two lists. Here we have our waiting for input list. And I might say this just might be the most valuable list in this entire board. Sometimes you're in the middle of a task and you've asked for something, you've requested for something, or you're waiting for feedback from someone. There's nothing else you can really do at the moment. And you don't want to put it here in your today tasks or your future tasks because you can't act on it. So it's important to have some type of waiting for input list. Here I've got a price quote. I'm waiting to hear back from these people, or maybe I'm wanting to set up a meeting time and I'm waiting to hear back as to what time is best for them. So this can be a great place to park tasks for the short term and check in on them from time to time. I might want to add a due date to some of these tasks to make sure that they don't sit here too long. And of course, last but not least, we have our completed, or maybe you want to title this finished list, where you put everything once it is done. You could even put your projects in the completed list here once they are finished as well. And of course, if this grows too long and lengthy, you can archive all the cards in this list from time to time. They are still searchable. You can still go back and find out information about those tasks there. So there you have it, the ultimate to-do list. Everything from the beginning of an idea here in the notes section to creating a project, which may have multiple steps and multiple tasks, and then seeing those relationships with those tasks here. Now, if you would like to use the ultimate to-do list, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can make a copy of this Trello board. Whether you would like to use this Trello board as is, or maybe you'd like to make a few tweaks and a few adjustments to what you see here. And if you'd like to see some even more inspired Trello boards, I'll leave you a link to the new Trello inspiration page. And you can find other boards which you can copy and apply to your workday. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, I would encourage you to do so right here to the Simpletivity YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Remember, being productive does not need to be difficult. In fact, it's very simple.